Yeah. Okay.
Disrespectful and
Okay.
winner one hell of a kid. Smoking gas, drinking
Winner.
what you doing out of dick. Slick talker since a jet.
Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag. Disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school, winter one hell of a kid. I am smoking gas, drinking mid. I'm lit, what you doing out in dick? I swear, slick talker since a jet. Finesse, I know that this what they want, facts. Run up some money, I'm gone, I'm out.
We'll be doing What If Luffy with Shanks on part 6. Now without further ado, let's get started. The Straw Hats would arrive at Water 7, and then they will also have gold from Skypiea. I failed to mention that in the last part. Nami and Usopp will go with Luffy to go cash it in, and this guy tries to pull some shit on Luffy, selling him short of the treasure. Don't think I'm an idiot. I want the full price of these. And the man would then give him what it's actually worth and extra just because he was so fucking scared of Luffy. Wow, you even got us even more money, Captain. Nami would say, literally kissing the gold bar she had in her hand. Usopp would agree, and Luffy says that he's going to go get some new clothes, taking a stack of cash with him, telling them to go see the shipwrights about a new ship. Luffy would then buy him a black cape with some new shorts and a new shirt, as he would be wearing exactly what you see in the thumbnail. Meanwhile, with Nami and Usopp, they are talking to this long-nosed guy named Kaku about a new ship. They look around and they can't really find anything they like right now, and that's when Luffy would appear next to them in a flash, as Nami would jump and yell, "You scared the hell out of me," and Usopp just laughs. After Luffy says, we'll come back and look for some more ships later, they would begin to walk off. Luffy would then say, "Come on now, I know you're there," as the Frankie family would reveal themselves and sense the immense aura and then they would apologize. And then they would say that they were going to try and steal their gold. And Luffy says, "Why? Depending on your reason, I might give you some." They would then say for our big bro Frankie, he needs to buy a certain type of wood to build his best ship yet. Luffy would then smile and say, "Hey, I'll tell you what. We give you the money for the wood needed for the ship, and he makes us a ship out of the wood." They would say that Frankie probably would agree to that, and then they would take the Straw Hats to him and fade to black, as we then cut to Sanji and Chopper. As Chopper says to Sanji that Robin disappeared out of nowhere, and then they would begin to search for her, and she would tell them, as they would find her, and she would tell them goodbye, and this would be the last time that they ever meet. I apologize. She would then walk away as Sanji would swim after her. However, she would disappear. Back with Luffy and the others, they would arrive at Frankie in his man's hideout, and his men tried to tell him about the deal, but before they could explain, the Frankie registers the Straw Hats as enemies and would shoot bullets out of his hand, and Usopp would smile, and he would shoot all of his bullets out of the air with his own bullets. And Luffy would then tell Frankie to calm down and says that we aren't enemies after explaining to Frankie, and Frankie feels a little bit embarrassed after he explained it. And he would then tell Luffy, "What's the deal?" It's simple, really. You make the ship out of that specific wood and give it to us, and we pay you for it. Frankie agrees to this, and Frankie also goes to buy the wood and starts building it. However, Luffy would hear Sanji and Chopper behind him, and they would explain to him what happened with Robin and everything. Luffy would have a serious look on his face, and he didn't know to be angry or concerned. He would then say, "Nami, go get Zoro. Sanji, Chopper, Usopp, come with me. We're finding our crewmate." They would then nod and do so. Luffy can be scary. Man, Luffy can be scary when he's serious, Chopper would say to Sanji, in a bit of a sweat. Sanji would then say, "There's nothing to be afraid of. It's just Luffy." Although he isn't wrong, Sanji would think. As they are searching, she can't be detected with Luffy's observation, as he would think that isn't right at all, and somebody must be using a devil fruit power to travel with her, keeping her undiscoverable. Luffy would tell the crew to head back to the ship, and they would wonder why Luffy is calling it for a day for now, as they would then all return to the ship to the heavily damaged Mary and sleep besides Luffy and Zoro. They were in front of the ship on the shore sparring. Zoro would try and slash Luffy, but Luffy would counter using Kakure's Haki and advanced Kakure's Haki, as his fish clashes with the his fist clashes with Zoro's swords and black lightning sparkling around it. The clash will blow up a lot of the surrounding area. Um, Zoro would then try to stab at Luffy, and Luffy would dodge and then grab his blade. Zoro would try to swing with his other sword, and Luffy would block his blade. Luffy would then compliment Zoro and says that that one would have actually did a bit of damage if he got hit with him. But Luffy would then counter with his own kick and clash, sending rubble everywhere as Zoro's blades and hands would envelop in his green-like aura, and black and green lightning would crackle. Luffy would smile, punching Zoro with Conqueror's Haki, and Zoro would smile, slashing Luffy. But Luffy would then smile and say, "You've learned advanced Conqueror's Haki, Zoro." And Zoro would then nod, and the two would go on for the whole day sparring. Luffy is holding back, of course, but he isn't going easy on Zoro. I would say he's using about 35-45% of his power on Zoro. After this fight, the Straw Hats actually hear about something that would shock all of them to their core. Robin attempted to kill Iceberg? All of the Straw Hats are insisting that they go there now to check on him, but Luffy sits and thinks no. He would then say, "We'll have to get them at night time. That's what my gut's telling me." They would agree as they trust Luffy with their lives, and some after. It's night, and Luffy is holding his straw hat, and he would then say, "It's time to act," as they all will follow behind him. As the hairs sticking out of the straw hat, the hairs sticking out of the Luffy straw hat would blow with the cape in the wind, as they would then bust through the glass window, easily getting past Iceberg's guards, as Luffy would knock him out with Conqueror's Haki. Luffy would then say, "Yo, oh man, is it true? Is it true she tried to kill you?" Iceberg would take a while before saying yes. After that, Luffy would then sense Rob, Lucci, Kaku, and the girl and the dwarf fruit guy get up. Rob Lucci would immediately transform and try to punch Luffy, but Luffy, using Conqueror's Haki, would block and then use Ryu and not even have to touch him, punch in the air as he gets sent into a wall, making him cough up blood and making him bleed from the stomach bad, making him pass out. Zoro would then tell Kaku he would take Kaku, slashing him down with ease with the single slash of Conqueror's Haki infused attack. Robin would enter the room, attempting to finish the job, not knowing that the Straw Hats are there, as she sees them and she is then shocked. She tells them to go away and she doesn't want to see them at all, and the Straw Hats would just stand and stare at how obvious it was that she was lying. However, Luffy is distracted by Rob Lucci getting up, and this gives the doorman enough time to escape with Robin and a couple of other CP9 agents. Luffy would then get pissed and say, "We're going after them," and the crew would then say, "Right." They would follow Luffy as he ran off, and Luffy sees that they're on the sea train already, and it already took off. Luffy would then say, "Damn it," as Frankie with them as well, by the way. And on top of all of that, the island is sinking, so yeah, over flooding and stuff, and this is bad news for the Straw Hats. However, Luffy would extend his Haki to a massive level, protecting everything around his island. They're using Ryu and Kakuro's Haki combined to force the water back into the outer sea. Everyone would just be astonished by what Luffy just did. He just stopped an entire island from sinking just with this Haki. However, Luffy doesn't care, as he asks Granny, who he still met. I just forgot to cover it. Does she know any way to get Robin back? She would nod and say that she has a sea train herself, and that's what they'll take. They would then agree to this, and she would take them to where the sea train is, and they will all get on the sea train. And Frankie is also on board with the Frankie family and that one guy with the ropes. As they arrive, Luffy and the train would be lifted, crashing through the gates of Enies lobby, and all Father Marine soldiers would charge. However, Luffy, Sanji, Zoro, and Frankie take them down easily. Luffy not even having to lift a single finger. He would walk past the men, and some cannon fodder of CP9 agents would show up. Because remember, Luffy kicked Rob Lucci's ass, so he's not there. Anyways, the Straw Hats each Each of the Straw Hats would then pick an opponent to fight against different CP9 agents, while Luffy pushes forward to Robin. The Chopper Pie guy, who would be taken down by Chopper and Frankie here. He would shave appearing behind Frankie, yet Chopper had his back, punching him in the face with armament hockey, using it for the first time. Luffy was only teaching Chopper the basics at first, but now he's learned. Chopper Pie will then try to crush Chopper with the iron body coming down on him like a bowling ball, but Frankie grabbed him out of the air much like a bowling ball and threw him into a wall, rolling him into a building, knocking him out. Usopp would take care of the wolf guy. However, it's not even a challenge for him, as he goes and slashes at Usopp, and Usopp just jumps into the air, covering his fist in hockey, thinking he's a sniper, but he also needs to work on hand-to-hand combat, punching the wolf in the face, sending him back into a wall, knocking him out. Nami will absolutely destroy the bubble girl pretty much with damn near one shot, and Luffy will be walking slowly up to the guy with the face mask and the purple hair. He was so shook that he couldn't even move as Luffy approaches Robin. She would tell him to go away, and Luffy would just sit beside her and say, "Robin, just tell me, why do you keep saying things that you don't mean?" Robin eventually would explain, saying that she knows Luffy could take out a normal Buster Call, but for Luffy, they wouldn't just call a normal Buster Call. Most likely, all three admirals. I did take that idea from Prince of What Ifs. Huge shout out to him. I'm in no position to be shouting out him, but I just love his what ifs. Anyways, Luffy would then nod, understanding what Robin means, and he says, "I understand." He would then stand up, walking towards the guy with the mask on it, and he then grabs his wrist, crushing it, taking the Buster Call button out of his hand. And without hesitation, he would click the Buster Call button, and Robin's eyes would widen, and she would yell at Luffy, calling him a fool, saying that he's gonna die. Luffy would then say, "Sit back and watch, Robin, and stop underestimating us. We're the Straw Hats." He would then contact his crew using a voice of all things, contacting all of his crew, explaining why Robin is doing what she's doing, and that Luffy called the Buster Call, so the Straw Hats would get ready for the battle ahead of them. Luffy then says, it's time shortly after, because he sees the Navy ships, and as Robin predicted, all three admirals would arrive. Kizaru kicking it off, turning it to light, flying right at Luffy, punching him. However, Luffy would block it. His punch then grabbed his arm, lifting him into the air above him, then backflipping, kicking Kizaru into a wall, as Kizaru would get up shortly after. Now it's going to be a whole lot of battles, so follow me here. Akainu would then jump off his throne into the air as his fist turns into magma as he punches at Luffy. However, Zoro would come in, spinning all three of his blades, using Conqueror's Haki, slashing through his lava fist, kicking Akainu. However, Akainu would block, and Kizaru would try and would try and kill Zoro, but Luffy is behind him with the Conqueror's Haki kick, and Kizaru blocks it, but it sends him flying back as he lands and then speeds above Luffy, throwing a light blade at him, as Luffy would grab it, throwing it back towards him, but Kizaru just dodges. Luffy would then jump up in the air where Kizaru was, and they would both would clash forearms, use their haki, as it would blow up lots of Enies lobby. Meanwhile, Sanji and Usopp with Aokiji as he speeds behind Sanji, trying to grab him and trying to freeze him, but Usopp shot him through the arm, but he would dodge, and Sanji would use Devil and then kick Aokiji. Aokiji would take this, as Usopp would then put his gun away and speed to Aokiji, going for a punch, but Aokiji would dodge. Then Sanji would jump off Usopp's foot using a devil haki attack and kick him. Kuzan would clash legs with Sanji. Akainu would then try and destroy Zoro with like meteors. However, Zoro would then transform into his non-sword style, covering it all blades in Conqueror's Haki, and they would then slash down on all the meteors into pieces, as the pieces drop into the ocean, and Zoro would appear behind in front of Akainu with a slash, but Akainu would counter with the magma kick, and now back with Luffy and Kizaru. Kizaru speeding around at Luffy in circles, and Luffy closes his eyes using observation, catching Kizaru, punching the air, sending Kizaru out of the light form. And as Kizaru will stumble back, Luffy then appears behind him with the haki kick, but Kizaru would counter with the light kick as they would clash until Kizaru pierces Luffy's arm with the light beam, making a small hole in it. Luffy's arm, however, he would tank this. Luffy would tank the attack from a Kizaru, shocking Kizaru, and Luffy would grab him by the face, slamming him into the ground, immediate cockroach haki onto his head, crushing him before Kizaru turns into light, flying out of that, bleeding from the head. Meanwhile, Frankie, Nami, and Chopper are easily taking down the vice admirals they brought along with them, as well as the fodder marine soldiers, along with Robin. Along with Robin, seeing how far the Straw Hats would go for her. Usopp and Sanji would be fighting back to back, as Usopp would do a barrage of punches on one side of Aokiji, and Sanji would do a barrage of kicks on the other side of Aokiji, and Aokiji is having trouble avoiding this as he gets hit with the fist to the side and a kick to the face, getting sent back some. With Luffy, he would dodge a light beam from Kizaru. However, he barely dodges the light beam and escapes his eye, giving him 3 scars across the eye. But Luffy eats this, and Kizaru notices something from it, and his eyes will widen as he notices exactly who Luffy looks like with that scar. His eyes will widen at the realization, and while he's in the middle of thought, there's Luffy with a kick to the face, sending him flying into the sea. Luckily, Aokiji froze it before Kizaru could drown, and Luffy speeds at Kizaru with the fist of haki, and Kizaru does the same as their clash shakes the whole Enies lobby. As Luffy would then say, "I'm really getting tired of you, bastard," speeding above Kizaru, putting his hands together, hitting Kizaru into the ice, as Kizaru then speeds around him again, but this time even faster, using haki, as Luffy tries to punch him before he tries anything, but Kizaru would dodge. And this goes on for a while before Luffy gets stabbed with the light blade right through his side. However, Luffy would then grab Kizaru using Ryu on his fist and Conqueror's haki, punching him in the side, cracking his ribs as Kizaru would cough up blood. Luffy would then cough up blood as well, badly being stabbed in the side, plus a scar on his eye and everything. And with Zoro and with Zoro, I apologize, Akainu was above him with a magma fist, turning both his hands into magma, just trying to melt Zoro. However, Zoro uses his haki aura, bursting the magma away from him, then slashes upwards, sending Akainu upwards, also giving him a slash across the chest, a medium-sized slash. Akainu would then use haki to speed to Zoro, punching him in the back with magma. Luckily, Zoro used his armament haki to block it, and before he could punch through him fully, but it still hit his skin as he grunts in pain, bleeding. Aokiji fighting Usopp and Sanji would then free Sanji in place, but Sanji's devil would melt the ice, and Usopp comes behind him, punching him in the head. However, it would go right through him, but it was just as an ice clone, and the real Aokiji is currently in a tree, waiting for the right moment to attack. For confirmation, no, it wasn't an ice clone the entire time, just when Usopp attempted to punch through him. As I said, Aokiji is currently in the tree, waiting for the right moment, but he then receives a call from Sengoku telling them to call off the attack, and if this battle continues, all of them there would just end up dead. Everybody, including the Straw Hats and the Admirals. Aokiji has to follow orders, telling the other Admirals about it, as they all fly off, retreating reluctantly, very, very reluctantly, and Luffy will fall to a knee exhausted, and also still having a stab wound in his arm, plus a scar on his eye, as he will then pass out, getting medical treatment from Chopper. And then the Straw Hats are surprised, because they have never ever seen Luffy that badly damaged before, and knows that these Admirals are no joke at all. When Luffy wakes up, they are back at Water 7, and their Iceberg will help Frankie build Luffy and the Straw Hats a ship, as Luffy asked Frankie in advance to be a shipwright, and Frankie reluctantly agreed to this, as in canon, as they are or like in the room that they had in canon, and there the Frankie family would come running with the new bounty posters. Luffy would look at his bounty and smile and laugh as the crew is just shocked, and as Luffy now holds a bounty of 1.5 billion berries. Zoro, looking at his 800 million berry bounty, would smile, while Sanji had a 600 million berry bounty, Usopp had a 230 million, and Chopper actually has a bounty of 30 million, while Frankie had a 65 million bounty. Also, this time they would get Sanji's real face in the actual poster, because that's little side arc with the poster looked alike. That shit was so stupid to me. Anyways, Luffy, he was relaxing, would then get a bit more on guard expression as the crew would wonder why, but surely stop wondering as Garp with the punch would punch through the wall, spinning Luffy, trying to punch him in the head. However, Luffy would block it with haki on his fist. What are you doing here, old man? Here, Luffy still. I'ma still make it where Luffy still has a grandfather-grandson relationship with Garp because of Ace being his brother, and it's kind of like how he considers Sabo his grandson because of him being Ace and Luffy's friend. Yeah. Garp would then say, "Look at how much mayhem you've been causing. You've sunk Enies lobby, went head to head with the Admiral, and on top of that, they just figured out that you're Shanks' son." Oh, when did they find that out? Garp would just say, "Right after the battle at Enies lobby." Luffy says, "It doesn't matter. I take pride in who my father is." By the way, Luffy still had the 3 scars on his eye. Those are permanent. I am not getting rid of that shit. They are here to stay. Garp would sigh and say, anyways, I have a friend that's here to see you." Luffy would then say, as Kobe would then run up and punch at Luffy using haki, and Luffy dodging easily, then grabbing him, throwing him into the wall, as Luffy would say, "Who the hell are you?" As Kobe looks up, Luffy is surprised for a bit before smiling. "Oh, hey, Kobe." And that's where I'll be ending the video off, guys. Hope you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.